My doctor has arrived. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. My first encounter with Doctor Who as a child was with the Third Doctor. It was a novelization of The Day of the Daleks, and as soon as I read it, I fell in love with Doctor Who. And again, my first encounter with Doctor Who actually on screen was also sort of the Third Doctor. You see, I grew up in a small town about 60 miles south of the Canadian border, and I found out that there was a Canadian station that was broadcasting Doctor Who in UHF on Saturday mornings. And so, one fine Saturday morning in around 1976, I tuned our TV very carefully into this UHF station. I twitched the knob ever so slightly left and right to finally get sort of a signal. It was really snowy. I could barely see anything. I could hear what was happening. And the very first image of Doctor Who I saw was the Third Doctor and Bessie. So you might think that my doctor would be the Third Doctor, but nope, that's not it. And really, the first real full episodes of Doctor Who I ever watched were with the Fourth Doctor. That's who was the Doctor Supreme at the time in the mid-1970s. And I watched all those, and I loved them, no question. And I certainly wouldn't argue with anyone who says that Tom Baker is the definitive Doctor. But for my money, the first real Doctor, the best Doctor, the Doctor who defined the program and everything it's about, is the Second Doctor, Patrick Troughton. And I say that because it's with the Second Doctor that we got canon. It's with the Second Doctor that we got regeneration, and Gallifrey, and Time Lords, and a base under siege, and a spry, witty, comical, playful Doctor. A Doctor who at one moment could play the fool and at the next moment be incredibly intense, incredibly wise, be hard and unbending in the name of justice. And that right there is the Doctor that I got this morning. I am so excited to be on to the first Doctor, even if the first story is a stupid Dalek story. As Dalek stories go, this is not a bad one. But the fact remains, it is a Dalek story. I joked to a friend of mine yesterday that the story I really want to see is titled Absence of the Daleks. It would be a two-parter, and the Daleks would appear nowhere throughout the entire story. Well, he replied back that he and a friend of his have a long-running joke. They want to write an episode called The Surprising Appearance of the Daleks at the End of Episode 1. Episode 1 written by Terry Nation. So you'll perhaps not be surprised when, at the very end of the first episode of Power of the Daleks, there is a surprising appearance of the Daleks. This one's a six-parter. It's a bit of a slow burn, fully a third of the first episode. It's just post-regeneration with the Doctor getting used to his new body and Ben and Polly trying to decide whether or not the Doctor is the Doctor, which Polly fully embraces right away, and Ben continues to be a skeptic. And then promptly they arrive on the planet Vulcan, where there's an Earth colony and a scientific expedition. There's a mysterious murder, there's rebels afoot, there's a potentially evil stern security guard, there's a duplicitous governor, and of course, there's a mad scientist who's found a capsule that was buried under Mercury for centuries, in which he's slowly opening up, in which, I know this is a shocking revelation, contains Daleks. So here we are on the Time Treadmill, day one, off and running with the Second Doctor and the Daleks, and tomorrow I really get to the meat of the story. Tomorrow I'd like to talk a little bit about the animated restoration and get into that, so I'll save that for tomorrow, and I will see you then.